So, as I mentioned earlier, I am trying to do this boat build on the cheap, trying to do it as inexpensively as possible. It's windy out here today, so please excuse the bad hair day going on. As I said, I'm trying to do this boat build as cheaply as possible for hopefully less than $1,000. And one of the things you need is metal, usually steel or aluminum, to protect your transom from the motor mounts. So, let me show you what I got. I got a used, broken washing machine, but it has a nice front side right there of steel. I'm going to cut that off and use that as my transom protector. And how am I going to do that? With this baby. Just made you the loud, ugly noise of the angle grinder cutting off the front, but as you can see, the front piece is now off. It's what I'll be using for my transom. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of that. What I'll be doing is I'll be doing a plastic weld, which means I'll be heating up the hull, sticking some mesh on it, and then melting some plastic into that mesh, and then hopefully smoothing it out and making it kind of look neat. I will do one of the holes and let you guys view that. The rest, that'll be off camera. As I have mentioned on more than one occasion, I am very budget conscious, especially in this build. And as we know, I don't have the best equipment, only this cell phone that I'm recording on. To that end, I was editing video number 2, and at this point, right here, I was supposed to have another section of the video, but the file got corrupted, and so I'll just explain that I used the welding gun with some pieces to attach the two sides of the brake, which you will see circled in the photograph I'm about to put up. So that's where we are at the point in the video, and we'll move on from here. It's not very sunny out here at the moment, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. But what you will see is, if you were here or if there was a better picture, is you can see the plastic starting to move. That means it's getting warm. But you'll also see like a shine up here on the parts that I already sanded down. What it's doing is melting the top of the plastic. But right now I'm just trying to heat the plastic up as much as possible so that I can get this mesh screen to easily press into it. You can see it's already gotten pretty soft here. So I have a screwdriver I'm going to try and work this in with. Obviously this isn't working yet. So before I go on, a couple of things to point out. First, you'll notice this is called Have a Cigar, but I don't have one today. That's because I need both hands to be doing what I'm doing. Secondly, I don't have a camera. I have a smartphone, and it's not super smart apparently, because it shuts off in the middle of recording sometimes. So there will be no time lapse of me melting that in. But as you'll see in a moment, I got all the edges melted into the plastic, and we'll be moving on to the next step. So as you can see there, I've got that mesh all melted in around the edges here. It's fairly formed to the contours here. Now I will be taking some plastic from essentially a jug I have and melting that into the mesh here to create a complete seal. So these kayaks are made from HDPE, high density polyethylene. It's a number 2 on the recycle scale. And that's important because you want to make sure you use the same type of plastic, a polyethylene, which again, you can find by looking for a number 2 on the piece that's going to be your donor piece. Now, places like Home Depot, Amazon, they sell what they call plastic welding rods in various types of plastic, ABS, polyethylene, and a bunch of other ones. But in this case, I'm going to use a jar I had upstairs that happens to be a number 2 on the recycle schedule and use it as my donor. This is my donor jug. It's kind of clear, opaque white. And I know you can't possibly read it in this light, but right there, it has a number 2 in the recycle triangle. You're just going to have to trust me on this one. I'm beginning to dislike my phone and its camera function because I went through a whole set of instructions here about working with this and patching up stuff and using HDPE, how it is quite malleable yet can be melted and remelted and never lose its strength, and my phone shut off. So I've got the next piece here that I'm working on to get it to cover up more of this mesh. Ideally, I want all of the mesh to be covered with plastic. Even though that the plastic from the kayak is melted into the ends of the kayak, I want to be able to get this to cover as much area as possible, making it a better seal for my patch. As you can see, I'm heating it up and smoothing it out, trying to get it to cover the edges. Don't worry about how rough it is. You can sand it, you can add more plastic. One of the great things about HDPE is that, like I said, it can be worked over and over and over again and never lose its strength or its malleability. Now, I had a little bit of the edge of the plastic come up here, so I'm going to try and remelt that back in. Now I'll try to smooth out some of the edges here. So, as you can see, I've covered over the entire patch with new plastic. I'm going to do a little bit of smoothing and integrating of a couple of areas. You can see this one white one here that is still kind of sitting above everybody. Just heat up the plastic a little, smooth it in there, get it to melt into the other. Welding is heating up two metals and getting them to fuse together, and that's essentially all this is heating up two materials of the same type, plastic, and getting them to fuse together. So I fused the screen into the plastic of the kayak, and then I infused the plastic patch all over the screen, and we'll give that just a little bit to cool down. Then I'll take my sander and sand this down, get off some of the high points, some of the rough parts. But for the most part, it'll be done on this side after it cools down and whitens all up. Then I'll move to this little one, and then this one here, and then the one on the other kayak. It's not a small thing to do. It takes some time, especially when you're new like me and you're not perfect at it. But if you keep working at it, you'll get to the point where you can repair something like a kayak. Well, that'll be where I end this video for now. Well, as you've already guessed, I'm new to this YouTube thing and to doing recordings. So, there's one more thing I want to do out here when I'm working on the outside of the kayaks, and I have these protection pieces that go over the keel here. Problem is, I fixed them, I painted them black, I melted the plastic and everything, and forgot to show you guys, just completely forgot to record it. So that's my last step today. I'm going to attach these on after I've done all my patches, and next thing will be to roll the kayaks over, get in, fix the inside pieces, and start working on the deck and whatnot. And as I like to say, light them if you got them.